That's right, folks, it's the Vagrant's Valet, and today we are heading out onto the road. We're going to help out some homeless folks. We're going to help out a stranger. We're going to see whoever might need a ride across the fruited plain. Of course, I have to get off of these rollerblades first. There's no way I'd be able to carry anybody on these things. I can barely carry myself, as you saw. So now, let's cache these skates. Let's get to the Vagrant's Valet command vehicle, folks, and let's go to work. Hey, brother, you need a lift somewhere? You want to ride? It's free. I can give you a lift.
It's okay.
Oh, right on.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you. Oh, here comes another one. Oh, it's Zook. You want to ride?
Are you going down to the community kitchen?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Hop on in, my brother.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well,
I'm most obliged, sir.
absolutely.
It matters.
The little
How you
thing.
been? How about that? How you doing?
I've been exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. We got all the good weather here.
Man, I'm telling you.
It's going to be up to about 70 degrees. But you know what I noticed? I noticed the good weather brings out all the hooligans.
Well, but you know, that's a beautiful color of the rainbow. But see, it takes. I've come to know, hey, if you appreciate this, it's because maybe that offsets it. It's like the yin and the yang, you know? It's like it takes both, you know?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, earlier in the week, it was like 25 degrees out here. Do you know this gentleman here? This guy in the gray sweatshirt?
No. Do I know him? No,
Yeah.
no.
I thought you said hi to him.
I mean, no, he's homeless. I mean, you know, it's like, yeah. I try to say hello to everybody, you know.
Are you in between housing opportunities?
I am, but something good's coming. I feel more encouraged now than I ever have.
Yeah, what's your name, please?
Cool Breeze.
Cool Breeze.
Yes. Or Josh.
Either way, your street name's Cool Breeze.
Yes. Artist name. That's what my artist name would be.
Fantastic.
I'm a singer and drummer. So.
Oh, excellent.
And,
you know Gene here? The guy who walks around with the blanket all the time?
Yes.
How's he doing? He seems like he's limping around a little bit.
I am concerned for his feet.
Yeah. I asked him if he wanted to go to the hospital, but he didn't want to go. And, you know, if you get a bad infection, you know, you can die from an infection, so...
Now, you know I'm going to community. Right?
Yeah, I get to talking.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to be clear with that.
I get to jiving, and all of a sudden I'm going in there. We'll get you to where.
I'm going to tell you what I've been inspired by.
Yeah, lay it on me. Paint me a picture.
It's a health. I was like, Josh, I got to lay down cigarettes, man. I'm going to start jogging and start working out, going to the gym. It's just, I've been busy living like logistics, you know, trying to survive.
Well, how long have you been homeless?
The whole time I've been here.
What, has that been a year or two, or?
It's been a year and 4 months, I think.
Oh.
But most of it's been, well, I got here because of narcissism. I had a 3-bedroom house in Austin.
Because of what?
Narcissism.
Narcissism?
Well, I came home from being at the park after she spent time with the kids. It's her children, the 3 children. And, you know, she spent all day at the park with them because she didn't have the children until I came into the picture. And their father brought the children up to us so we would take care of them.
Okay.
He couldn't take care of them no more. He says, Josh, take care of the children, will you?
Okay, well that's a high calling there. I think that.
I love those children. I gave him a big hug, man. He's a father. I'm their friend.
Yeah.
And she betrayed me, man. But I forgive her. I don't want her to feel no pain. I hope she finds somebody.
Yeah.
Really good to her that she's maybe learned some things as I've learned some things. I've learned a lot, man.
Well, it sounds like you're at peace with the situation.
I am. I'll never really get over it, but I'm moving on.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Dad, can you? Something like that. Everything you live for has just been ripped from you. And one night she said, I love you no more.
Wow.
She said, I love somebody else. And she told some guy she loved him.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
Whole family. And I knew it was over. I said, okay, I can't save us.
Well, do you make it to church? Are you a man of the cloth, or?
I have a wonderful church. Pastor Garland, First Christian.
Where's that?
Downtown, right across from CBS.
Is that Pentecostal?
No, it's to me it feels like non-denominational, but it's First Christian. I'm not sure if that's it's just the love. How about that? I feel
okay.
First Church of Love. First Church of
That's a good way of looking at it.
Exactly, man. They sit down and eat with us, and it feels the fellowship is beautiful.
Yeah. When I first got to Bloomington, I went to the Pentecostal church over there on Adams Street.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, those Pentecostals, they get into it.
Well, I grew up Pentecostal.
Oh yeah. Well, the preacher. I mean, when you're listening to the sermon, you know you're in church. There's nobody falling asleep.
Oh, no.
There's nobody dozing off. They're loud and proud and great people. I really like that church. But then I moved to the other side of town.
What Pentecostal church was it?
It was the one on Adams Street there. I was living right across the street. It was kind of like a flop house opportunity. It was like a basement apartment type deal. It was like a renter room type deal. It was nice, but it was like too far away from campus, and I was taking classes. It wasn't that far, but you know, it was about a mile and a half over to the education building. But
Look where you're planted. You're in Bloomington, so you're not beautiful. Bloom where you're planted, man.
Bloom where you're planted there.
I did a lot of time in the penitentiary, and every once in a while you'd see a flower come up through the concrete, the cracks of the concrete. That was phenomenal.
Were you in the big house?
I was in the big house.
Where, like in Indiana?
Erie, South Carolina.
South Carolina?
Yes.
What, if you're comfortable, what'd you do? Were you like a bank robber? Or?
I did something dumb and robbed a jewelry store.
Oh boy.
And I regret it.
Well, but you've been clean ever since?
I have not committed no felonies ever since. Never.
Okay, that's good.
I've not even been to county jail. Not one time. I've been out since 2016.
So
I did a little over 11 years altogether at one time. So God's really, I just submitted myself to Elohim, the power, the source, however you want to call it, man.
It does.
Love. How about love?
God's name is mentioned is Elohim and
Elohim.
Yahweh and Jehovah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's plural for they or them, you know, like the God, you know, the Godhead. Or
So you were in the big house for 11 years in South Carolina?
yeah, I spent almost a year in the county, and then I did it's called Cross Anchor, and it was a pretty huge yard, maybe 1900, so almost 2,000.
Well, what was worse, the county jail or the
County jail.
Well, because there's like nothing to do. That
Right.
you can't go out into the
Right.
yard. You can't play
Oh,
ping
yeah.
pong.
They had a major riot, and the first prison I ever went to was Lee County in Bishopville, South Carolina, and they had a riot in 2017. Look it up. It's the worst modern day riot.
Yikes.
7 inmates killed and 22 injured. Staff, and they had to bring their squad in, the riot squad.
What is it like?
They have a cell phone footage of that. So
You were
I
there.
was there 2.5 years. That was a maximum security.
So you were there when that riot took place?
Yeah, it was a gang yard.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, man. I've been so humbled, man. I made it.
Well,
that's why I can sing, man. I may not have nothing, but I'm free.
well, what made you turn from a life of crime to a life of peace and
I
tranquility?
started studying about the Jewish faith. The Jewish faith
That'll do it.
changed everything. I read about the covenant. I read about the Sabbath, the Shabbat. I read about the 7 feasts in Leviticus 23. Atonement. Yom Kippur, or the Feast of Sukkot. Yom Kippur. Yom Torah.
Yeah.
All that, man, to be shot. All that. It just changed my life. It gave me a sense of who I was. It was beautiful. It was very comforting. I said, that's who I am. That's who you are.
Would you encourage other young men that are involved in crime and drugs and that kind of thing to look at that that scripture
I
there?
would highly recommend it, yes. Because here's the thing, he says a covenant, just make a covenant with me and I make a covenant with thee.
Ding ding. Ding ding.
That means, you are covered in love. And what happens is you bring love and energy to wherever you go, and it can keep you all safe. The presence of
Well, that's
Shemiyim, which means heaven in Hebrew. Shemiyim's real.
well, that's a lot better than knocking off jewelry stores, isn't it?
Yes, man. If I would have known about that, I would have knocked off jewelry stores. I didn't know about the Sabbath. I didn't know about his covenant, his love, and his promise to us. I didn't know about that.
So do you practice the Jewish faith or the Christian faith?
I practice the Hebrew. I'll go to church on Sundays, but I also practice Sabbath.
Ah,
Yeah, and I also observe the feast.
All right.
It's amazing, man. I love how it just dovetails into both. I believe in Yeshua. That means Yahweh is salvation. You know, the I am that I am. He says, I come in my Father's name. And Yeshua is the only name that I'm aware of that has Yah, which means I am the Father's name in his name. Jesus is Grecian. Jesus is not Hebrew. It's Grecian from Greece. It is Iesus in this form.
I can't quite hear you.
Iesus.
Yeah?
Jesus.
Oh, the name is a Greek.
What happened is things got lost in translation. They get that I hook made a J out of it. And that's why the world, the Jewish people, a lot of them, because of being took over by Rome and Greece, right? There's a vassal state of Rome.
Definitely,
yes,
yeah.
There was. And so the Stoics and the philosophers, the vein of thinking for even their, you know, a lot of their leaders became very much, well, even Babylonian at times, like a Talmud. And the Talmud's good, it has some good stuff. But the Torah is a pure, unadulterated words of Hashem. I don't know.
Okay, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible?
Right.
I remember my Sunday school, which is Genesis, Exodus, and let's see, in Deuteronomy is when Moses sees into the Promised Land.
Moses never made it to the Promised Land because he did something that angered Hashem.
But I don't think but do we know what Moses did to anger?
He did, we do know. He hit the rock in anger because the people would not obey. He did it out of anger, not love. He smoked the rock.
Ah, okay.
There's a certain way you got to approach the throne, His Highness. You know, His Excellency, the throne room, the King. There's a certain way you approach his the nobility of Yah.
Okay.
How about humbly before that, you know?
Have you ever been to Israel, the Promised Land?
I always wanted to go. That's a dream of mine.
I was actually 2 summers ago. I went to Israel. I was in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem.
Let me digress. Please share Israel.
Oh, I went to Masada.
Yes, that was the last holdout, the Jewish zealots. And they committed suicide, I believe, because they did not want to. Yeah, the Roman. Yeah, it took them forever to build that ramp up to get to them.
Yeah, it was on the east side. Yeah, well, you know all about it. There were a couple different Herods, so it wasn't
Agrippa, you had many Tarsus.
Yeah, there were, but this was one Herod, and it was like, I guess his originally built as his palace. But I'll tell you what, this is right on the Dead Sea, and it is out in the middle of nowhere.
I'd love to see that, man. I've never been there. It's a dream of mine.
It is desolate. It is just like 100 miles of sun-baked sand. I mean, it is very forbidding. And it's like when we left Jerusalem, because I was actually staying on the Palestinian side of Jerusalem.
Gaza Strip or the Golden Heights?
No. This was way north. North of the Gaza Strip. This was in Jerusalem proper. It was right outside the old city wall.
Oh, yes, okay. Yeah, they do have a little, they had that, that quarter,
Yeah, it was right outside the Damascus gate, and it was on the other side, to the east was the Zion gate, where Lord Allenby entered when he conquered Jerusalem.
The British general, 1917.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yes.
And
they created the state of Israel, but there's always been a people of Israel. They're two different things.
Yeah, that was that would have been 30 years after Allenby. Famously, he dismounted his horse. He didn't ride in as a conqueror out of respect for
and that was good.
The history.
There's rich history. I love history, and I don't claim I like to learn. I'm a student of history.
Apparently.
I love to learn. History, it's his story, like Michael Jackson said, history, but it's 2 words, just like a Day of Atonement is 3 words. Atonement is 3 words at one.
You remember where Michael Jackson's from?
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. Yes. My mom and my mom's side of the family are all from Gary.
Tell us about COVID, didn't he?
I think
it wasn't about the nose, man.
I think Michael Jackson was already gone, but
no, he was definitely gone. But he tried to tell us about, when he wore the mask for years and years and years.
Oh, he did.
When you have surgery
didn't he?
for a nose, it only lasts 3 to 5 months, maybe. A mask. But he was always trying to tell us what was coming. He had a microphone. He was Jehovah's Witness.
Was he?
Yes.
Was Lisa Marie too?
I'm not really. Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But he also wore the armband, and that's coming up in our future in America. A dictator. He wore the armband. Michael Jackson loved America. The armband. Tyrannical. When the Constitution is shredded and done away with, and misinterpreted. Do you understand? We're a republic, not a democracy.
Oh, that's true too.
Built on law, not mob rule.
Well, yeah. Thomas Jefferson
We're a
said.
republic like Rome.
Thomas Jefferson said famously that government should be of laws rather than of men.
Absolutely. It's order.
And Thomas Jefferson also wanted to go to the metric system. That would have been a good idea, because we're still using the archaic inches and feet and yards and miles. It's not based on anything, whereas obviously metric is a lot more logical.
I wish we could barter more between each other. We'd know so much more. We could survive so much better, thrive better bartering. That means trading and really speaking to each other as neighbors, man, getting to know one another. Hey, bud, coming over for a barbecue. Getting to know one another's people.
Yeah.
Neighbors. Some neighbors don't know each other. They'll do the old hey and throw the hand up, or maybe, but let's know each other. It's love. Because see, love is what holds everything together. Because it's God, Love came from God.
Well, Lenny Kravitz said we have to let love rule.
Let love rule. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's let it rule, man.
I think Lenny Kravitz had the right idea.
Show me love about picking me up in the car. That's love, man.
I admire.
Yours hands and feet. See, you showed up in my reality. You don't know, but I have major blisters on my feet. You didn't even know that. And there you are. So you're the chariot of hell.
Well, I admire Lenny Kravitz's music, and I admire his taste in women, because that Lisa Bonet is a fox.
Yes.
In fact, she's a super fox.
She is bonita.
Yeah, bonita.
I love her long hair, and the long hair, Paul says, is a woman's glory or crown. It's majestic. Long hair is antennas. If you ever see a woman with long hair, they feel very deeply. Hairs are antennas. They actually can pick up things in the universe. You ever seen a wizard without long hair? You see, my friend, the body is so much more.
The long beards.
Yeah. See, we are the temple. We are spiritual. We are a pyramid unto ourselves. Because what's in us is a spark of life. When He breathed into us the breath of life, it was, when He breathed into us His name.
That's pretty heavy.
Is a life-sustaining force. When you say let's go out into nature, you mean the nature of God. It's His very nature. You see the nature. We have human nature. We have choices. Love comes down to choice. You can just simply decide to love somebody. I've been thinking a lot about that. I can't find nobody to love me. It's because he just simply has not made a decision to love you. You can love somebody, you can hate somebody. You can change your mind within a minute. I'm going to love you. I'm going to keep on loving you. It's a decision. And from that's the foundation from wherever else you can build on that. You know what? I want to decide to love you. I don't really know you, but I want to get to know you. Give you a chance. It's love, man. To know someone's love.
Do you know where you're sleeping tonight? What do you have planned?
I don't know. Man, I'm so grateful for the weather. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll probably stay out of the way under a tree or maybe a stairwell somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're quite the intrepid sojourner, and
I'm just thankful to be free.
Yeah, well, you're.
Prison, man.
Well, hey, sounds like you got your life turned around here.
It's getting there. I still struggle from time to time from partaking of, substance, but moderation. And
Well,
I eventually went to.
you got your faith and you got your sobriety, and that's pretty good.
Well, I have fallen off a little bit, on my sobriety.
Well, we've all fallen short.
It's not to he who falls down, but to he who gets up again. He says, tell your heart to beat again. Can I share something with you before?
Yeah, lay it on me.
There's a surgeon one time, and this lady was a friend of mine's church, and she went to have open heart surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she went, and he was able to be in the very room. I don't know how they did it. The pastor was. And for hours and hours went on, and the heart surgeon and the surgery was successful. But the doctor, once he put the heart in and sewed it back up, he massaged it, and they do little things. They go through this routine, but he couldn't get the heart beating again.
Uh-oh.
She was on life support, and that's when something whispered to him. He says, "Go around and whisper in her ear." So the doctor went around and whispered in her ear. He says, "Ma'am, your surgery was successful. I'm your doctor. Tell your heart to beat again." And it wasn't 5 seconds later in the heart.
No kidding.
See, it's decision, man.
That's the big boy upstairs.
He breathed back alive. The doctor.
All right, my brother.
All right.
Hey, look for me when you see me on the streets. I've always got a water and a kind word, and I'll give you a ride.
I enjoyed it. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother.
Okay, flag me
Are
down.
you hungry? They've served food here.
Maybe after a while.
Okay.
I appreciate the invitation.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, my friend.
You keep rocking.
I'm gonna when I get some money, I'm gonna definitely get you some gas money, my friend.
Well, you're very generous.
Thank you. It's a service. Thank you.
Ding ding.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Well, there is quite the philosopher there. I think he said his street name is Cool Breeze. He was definitely well versed in the Old Testament there. He'd been through some trials and tribulations. 11 years at the joint down there in South Carolina. And I'll bet that big house doesn't have air conditioning. So that's enough to make anybody give up a life of crime and forget about robbing jewelry stores. So, hey, if you like the cut of my jib, go ahead and like, subscribe, leave me a comment. And now we're off to help somebody else out. Ding, ding.